What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Fast. Today, let's get started with Alexander Volkanovski vows to return to form in UFC 314 title fight against Diego Lopes. Alexander Volkanovski believes he will remind the MMA world just how good he is. Volkanovski will have a chance to prove it in the main event of UFC 314. The Great will collide with Diego Lopes for the vacant UFC featherweight championship on April 12th in Miami. While Volkanovski has dropped his last two fights via knockout, he's had time to rest and heal. The former UFC featherweight champion believes the time away from the octagon will allow him to regain UFC gold. I think I can beat Diego everywhere. Even if I want to go the wrestling route or grappling route, I think I dominate there anyway. Everyone knows him for his jiu-jitsu, but trust me, I ain't worried if it goes there. Can he handle the fact that even when things are going his way, I ain't quitting? I'm coming back even stronger. I don't even think he'll get me there, but even if he does, I think he's still going to absolutely hate being in these positions because he's going to realize, I can't stop this guy. I'll show the world and him that I'm just different. UFC 314, you're going to see the Volk that you guys are used to. Trust me, he's coming back and he's getting that belt back. Daniel Cormier praised Magomed Ankalaev for his strategy at UFC 313. Although he failed to land any takedowns, Ankalaev's pressure gave Pereira problems on the feet. Cormier thinks the numerous takedown attempts by Ankalaev are what had Poatan tentative and backing up. It was kind of hard to give him the credit he deserves just because we have seen Pereira on so many occasions flip a fight. Guys, this is 2 fights in a row where we have seen Poatan kind of losing. Magomed Ankalaev fought a beautiful fight. Honestly, Pereira landed a few jabs. In round 5, he landed a nice head kick, but the vast majority of the fight, it was Magomed Ankalaev pressuring him, able to land shots. Maybe not big shots, but land shots and fight him very competitively on the feet. I believe that the reason he was able to fight him so well on the feet is because he has that threat of the wrestling. And when you have that threat of the wrestling, it makes you a much harder person to deal with. Cormier wants to see the pair run things back simply, because he thinks it's the most logical option when assessing the lay of the land at light heavyweight. He fought a wonderful fight and showed that he was not wrong in saying, I can stand with him, because he did have to stand for 25 minutes against the most dangerous striker in the UFC, possibly UFC history, and he came out as the champion. But I want to see a rematch between these two. Paddy Pimblett isn't expecting to get any credit with a win at UFC 314. Unbeaten in the octagon, Pimblett was asked if a win over Chandler will turn him from prospect to title contender. Every fight, I get underestimated and overlooked. But I'm getting in there now with someone who's top 10, someone who's fought all the legends in the division. He's fought for the title, but I'm going to be ranked number 7 once this fight's over, and I will be in title contention. Pimblett was asked who he'd rather be champion when he makes his way to title contention. Islam Makhachev, who currently holds the lightweight belt, or his rival Ilia Topuria. Islam Makhachev. I don't think Topuria gets near him. After I beat Chandler, I'd love to fight Ilia next, but we'll see what happens. I'd love to fight Dustin. I'd love to fight Charles. I just want to fight someone who will get me a title fight, because obviously that's what we do this for. Michael Bisping questioned Alex Pereira's will to win at UFC 313. Although he stuffed all 12 of Ankalaev's takedown attempts, Pereira wasn't able to do any significant damage on the feet. From Alex Pereira, it was just kind of a lazy performance. I didn't see that real desire to want to win. Ankalaev was big, he was strong, he was good enough to compete on the feet, and of course, he had the takedown threat. And even though he didn't get the takedown, the threat of the takedown was as good as getting the takedown because it opened up the strikes for him. It stopped Pereira from being overly aggressive and didn't want to go forward too much. For the most part, he was backed up throughout 25 minutes, pushed up against the fence, controlled a little bit. Pereira did a really good job of stopping the takedowns, pummeling, fighting the hands. He had really strong hips, takedown defense on point, but you don't win a fight by defending takedowns. Alex Pereira, the people have come to expect a knockout. In the 5th round, it was like he's got to deliver here, and he just didn't. And Ankalaev didn't give him an opportunity and didn't allow him. Beneil Dariush opened to fighting Mauricio Ruffy after his highlight reel KO at UFC 313. Ruffy scored a spinning wheel kick KO over King Green on Saturday. After the win, the Brazilian called out Dariush and he was quick to respond and showed interest in the bout. I was talking to my friends, I was like, man, I'm pretty sure he is gonna finish him in the 1st round. Then, he finished them like that, I was like, man, it was even more impressive than what I was expecting. I would say overall, I was very impressed with the guy. As far as the call out goes, like, man, you could call out whoever whoever you want. I don't really care. It's like Dana, Sean Shelby, and Hunter. It depends on who they want me to fight, right? That's kind of where I'm at right now. There was a period where I fought a guys a lot outside of the rankings. It didn't really move me that much forward. So at this point, I want the fights that are going to get me to the title the quickest. So that's really what I'm waiting for, is to get that call and be like, okay, you're fighting this guy. You're fighting that guy who is ranked. That's the ideal situation. Tom Aspinall teases Jon Jones fight news after Alex Pereira's UFC 313 loss. Prior to UFC 313 fight week beginning, Aspinall said Jones was holding up negotiations, perhaps to see if Pereira would win and set up a fight between them. But the momentum behind Jones versus Pereira is now largely dead, and Aspinall revealed off the back of White's comments that a deal has been reached. Jones versus Pereira is off the table now. The Alex Pereira fight at heavyweight, or any other weight, really. I mean, I guess he could still fight him at light heavyweight, but it won't be for a title. Yeah, John, there's only one thing to do, mate. Sign the contract and let's get a date going. Everything is now done on John's side, and the UFC now have to find a date and a venue, a place, location. So we're waiting for that. We've got some good news coming soon, hopefully. With Pereira no longer a threat to potentially steal his fight against Jones, Aspinall said he thinks a rematch with Ankalaev is his most logical career decision. Alex Pereira's run as champion is done for now. In my opinion, immediate rematch should be there next. Alex Pereira is a massive, massive star in the sport of MMA. Lost his title, but the run that he has been on is warranted for an immediate rematch in my opinion. Magomed Ankalaev, to me, looks like he's got his number. It looks like the same thing could happen again in my opinion. I want to see it again. I absolutely want to see that fight again. It was a great fight.